Hello, all, and welcome back to another episode of Google Ads Unleashed. I hope everyone is doing well. Summer's coming, so I think a lot of us will probably be on holiday. Hopefully, you're listening to this whilst you're trying to take some well deserved time off. But, if you're not having time off and are working, then I've got some tips for you on certain things that can improve your Google Ads. And today I want to talk about a recent experience I've had with a client who's come to us and whose Google Ads account had to be restarted from scratch. And I want to tell you what the best strategy is to do this today. Why do I want to tell you? Because there's a certain problem that we have here, okay? So when you restart a Google Ads account or when you have to start from scratch, there is no data to learn from. Now, Google nowadays is leaning, of course, more than ever into automated bidding strategies, rightly so. They used to be rubbish, now they're amazing and outperform any manual bidding strategy you could ever run. And the issue that you have is that without an account history, you have no data. Yeah, you have no data that Google can analyze on. So it's kind of a chicken and egg problem, which is why a lot of Google Ads accounts fail from the start, and people get a few hundred clicks, throw their hands up in the air. Google doesn't work. Yeah, Google is crap and whatever. But thankfully, with this ad account, it was a little different because what had happened was one of my absolute pet peeves. It makes me sick to the stomach when I hear cases like this. The Google Ads agency, the previous one, was actually owning the Google Ads account, right? So it was their Google Ads account and not our client's Google Ads account. The entire infrastructure was owned by this other company, by this other agency. And that is insane. I've actually done a podcast on this as well. This really pisses me off. Massive red flag if any agency ever pitches you that. By the way. And so what they did, they just deleted all campaigns. They didn't allow our clients access to their own Google Ads account essentially, and just booted them out. So our solution was we had to restart from scratch. Now, the good news is we were able to import quite a few campaigns, okay? So we were able to export what was in the existing Google Ads account and import that and upload it again into the new one. Disadvantage of it all, the campaigns were shite, so I had to basically rebuild them anyway. Advantage was we had a bit of an idea of what was working beforehand, okay? But the core challenge that we have, and you will see this in any new Google Ads account or in any new like for instance, we have another client where they have an MCC and all of the conversion tracking is not on MCC level, it's in the various different accounts because all the accounts are different businesses, it's not part of the same business. And we had to launch a new set of campaigns in a new account, and it just didn't really take off. Like, kind of anything that we did just didn't work, and this is one of the core barriers that a lot of people face. So that's why I want to tell you today what we did in order to regain the where we got ourselves to a level where it was okay to then re-implement automated bidding strategies. It's a little bit like a train, if you like, right? So a train's really heavy, has a lot of inertia, it takes a lot of energy and power to get it to move, but once it's moving and chugging along, then it is easier to keep the fire going and to keep the train going and to also accelerate the train. Okay, and it's the same with the Google Ads account, funny enough. The algorithm is this big old monster that needs a ton of data, that needs a ton of fire and a lot of coal in the fire until then it starts to burn and ignite other coals, and it's starting to become this self propelling engine, and that's kind of what's going on here. So the core and the key to getting an account from zero to hero is in what I call well, I don't have a specific name for it, but I'll make it up now on the spot. It's a 3-step process that I call our launch phase, right? So we start off with, first of all, researching, of course, and building up the ad account, etc., when there's nothing there. And what we do is, and this is going to blow people's mind, we set everything up with manual bidding strategies. There's a lot of people who start straight away with max conversions. That's fine as well, especially when it comes to search and so on. With PMax, you don't have a choice, right? So if you hit it off the bat with PMax, then fine, use max conversions. But we use a manual bidding strategy. And we carpet bomb as well. We don't really sort of say, oh, this keyword has this sort of CPC and this has this CPC. We take the risk and are willing to lose and burn money in the first, let's say, 2 weeks minimum. Okay? Why do we do that? Because, again, what I said before, Google only works on this data, right? So you kind of have to force the algorithm either through manual bidding, that's sort of one option, or you could even go, if you want to go nuclear, max clicks with a bid cap limit, and you just force the account to spend. You force the campaigns to spend. What is going to happen as a result? You are going to, of course, waste money, right? So that's just part of the process. You will have to throw enough mud at the wall until something sticks. You will start seeing maybe some things might be already working, right? So the goal is to gather data and to understand certain trends already, and to also feed the algorithm already enough data to make certain optimizations, right? So you can already see certain campaigns may work, certain product categories may work, certain products may work, certain keywords may work, etc., etc. In this phase, you don't make any optimizations. You let it run. You do not touch the ad account. Okay? I dare you to do something in this phase. Just let it run, and this may sound counterintuitive to many, and this is very often one of my best advices in Google Ads. In fact, the last episode was about it. Patience. Just sit there and let Google do its thing. What you will see is data will come in, conversions may come in, and after 2 weeks, generally speaking, it depends, of course, on the Google Ads account itself. We will start to sit down, maybe even after a month only. We will then sit down and already go into phase 2. And phase 2 is making the first cuts and the first adjustments. Okay, and that is really cutting the crass waste. Okay, that means landing pages and DSA campaigns which don't work, cutting products which don't work, just making sure that the learning phase is starting to become a little bit more lean. We may even make adjustments to CPCs. We may start switching over from something like a manual CPC to maximize conversions, really to start leaning into that first soft phase of machine learning and automation. And what we then typically do, we let this run for 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks as well. Okay, what happens? A new plateau is then sort of established, and you also teach Google to start using the automated bidding strategies, right? So that it kind of gets used to this new environment where it's allowed to play with the budgets and dip into new auctions, etc., etc. A good benchmark when you should start leaving phase 1 and go into phase 2 is about 50 conversions a week. All right, that's just a rough benchmark. It can be less, it can be more, it just depends on how big the account is, how stable conversions are coming in, you know, are there crazy fluctuations, etc. Then it just needs a bit of fine tuning and a bit of experience. Yeah, but 50 conversions is pretty good, and we do the same for phase 2. Once phase 2 has been sort of achieved or arrived, and this is what we've done with this client. We've started to switch to an advanced automated bidding strategy. So in this case, it was target CPA. We knew anyway what the sort of long-term target CPA was, but we have chosen an, let's say, equilibrium, which has been sort of distilled from the second phase. So after a while, you already see, okay, the account is trending to, let's say, £60 CPA on average. Then you can start setting it to that. Maybe your account CPA, your goal, long-term goal is 40 quid, right? But you haven't thrown enough mud at the wall to yet understand what is sticking and what isn't sticking, okay? And this is what we do then in phase 3. We switch everything over to a CPA where we're confident that we're not going to suffocate the algorithm, because that's something that typically happens. You implement a target CPA thinking, oh great, that's good news, got enough data now, let's set my dream CPA, and then boom, traffic dies instantly because Google says the bids are too low. I can't achieve that, right? So you have to give the algorithm enough room to breathe, so that bids can be set at an acceptable level to produce acceptable outcomes and volumes. And then phase 3 we let run for about 2 weeks, a month. Same principle, a number of conversions have to be coming in, and that's where we typically then start implementing our weekly, bi-weekly, monthly and quarterly optimizations. And this works every time, right? The only caveat that you have to have is you have to have patience. That's one thing. You have to have enough budget that you're willing to burn to learn, because I always say fail fast, learn fast in this one. Yeah, the more money you have to waste and spend, the quicker you'll understand what's going to work. And you will have sort of almost a blueprint to launch your next Google Ads account now from the spot. If you want any more tips like that, or if you're stuck with your Google Ads account and can't launch it or you can't scale it, just get in touch. You can find me, Jeremy Young, on LinkedIn. Just type in Jeremy Young Google Ads, or find us on Instagram, Young and Digital. You can find us on the internet, of course, as well, younganddigital.marketing. Just book a Calendly invite with me for a free one-to-one session. I can give you Google Ads advice, and maybe we can take your e-commerce store or lead gen business to the next level. Thank you very much for listening. This was Google Ads Unleashed. My name's Jeremy, your Google Ads specialist, and I'll see you in the next episode.